Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH, and today we are looking at the DeepCool LT360 Vision ARGB. Is this DeepCool's best AIO? Well, let's find out, shall we? Okay, so if you want to see the actual unboxing, what actually comes in the box, well, this is where it's going to show. It's going to show you what actually comes in the box. Comes with the brackets, comes with an actual cable for the proprietary cables. It does come with the overall screws for actually mounting the radiator, as well as the instructions. Now, as for the actual specs of the fans, I'm going to put the fans here, but the screen specs are, it is an ultra-wide IPS LCD. It is 4.5 inches and the resolution is an 8540 by 480 pixels, and it is between 30 and 60 FPS. Okay, so this is where you're going to see the actual software. It's going to be an overlay. Now, as for the actual software, like I'm going to say the exact same as I said in the Spartacus review, is the software is very easy to use. The overall interface of it is very easy to navigate. There is a lot of different features. You can actually adjust the brightness. You can put your own GIFs or GIFs, however you pronounce it. You can do 5 second up to 10 second, like real photos, which is quite cool. I do like that. It's got a lot of different functions. It's got a pixel mode, and then it's got like the information mode. Now, the information mode is basically the same as what it was on the Spartacus. It's basically just the information. It'll tell you CPU, it'll tell you GPU, pump, wattage, and then it's got a fantastic feature which I really do like about this AIO. It's got decast. That is when you can actually put this as a secondary display, and you'll probably see it in here. I've got one of my videos actually on the little display, and quite honestly, for the considered price, this isn't a bad value. Okay, so when it comes to the actual test bench, my AM5 platform, it's a Ryzen 9 7900. It does have 32 gigs of DDR5 from APACE. It does have a Sapphire X870A pure motherboard. It does have a 2TB Gen 5 from Kingston, 2TB Gen 4 from Samsung. It also has an RX 7800 XT with a 1200 watt power supply from Enemax, and it's housed in the BQuad Starbase 800 FX. Now, as for the testing in every AIO as well as CPU cooler, it's the exact same run of test. Cinebench, Blender Pavilion, Blender Classroom, as well as 3D Mark CPU test. Why? Because it hits the CPU differently. So, for the actual testing, I did for 50%. The Cinebench R23, the idles were 36 with a max of 83 Celsius. Blender Pavilion idles 36 with a max of 83. Blender Classroom idles 36 with a max of 81. 3D Mark CPU test, the idles were 36 with a max of 72 Celsius. Now, as for the CPU power draw, that was high at 182 watts with a low at 177, and the CPU clocks were high at 5.4 and low at 5.1 gigahertz. Now, for the 100% fan speed, the Cinebench R23, the actual idles were a degree lower at 35 with a max of 81. Blender Pavilion idles 35 with a max of 78. Blender Classroom idles 35 with a max of 78, and 3D Mark CPU test, the idles are 35 with a max of 69 Celsius. Nice. And as for the power draw, the high on the power draw was 181 watts with a low at 178, so it's already up. The CPU clocks are exactly the same, high at 5.4 and low at 5.1 gigahertz. So what I'm going to do by here, you will see a graph. This will show how this performs against other 360s I have previously done from DeepCool. Thermalright. It's going to be the ones with the actual screens. It's going to show you that this is very close to the Spartacus 360, and some of them it actually does beat it. So as you're going to want to know which one is the overall best, this does beat a lot of the competition out there, and that's just one of them things. So make sure you continue to watch, as this is where the graph is going to show. Okay, first of all, we start up with the standoffs. Now, all you do is place them down, screw them in like this. Don't try to over tighten, otherwise you will damage something. Just do this 4 times and repeat the process, and then we'll be done with that. Okay, so the standoffs are done. Now let's get on to the brackets. Okay, so when it comes to the brackets, now as you can see, this is actually placed that side. It's because of the screen coming out 90 degrees. So what you want to do is take this bracket here. As you can see, it is like a gap inside. It's where the actual screw is going to sit flat. So what you want to do is take one, just like this, go. You screw that down. Now both brackets are installed. Now let's get the thermal paste, because this does come with pre-applied thermal paste. Okay, so thermal paste is done. Now this now down. Place it down like this. Now what I want you to do is squeeze down a little. Okay, just so it sits. Then you want to take these, which are the retention nuts. These are the ones that are going to keep it. Now, with the screws, you don't want to over-tighten, but do it down to the point where you can't feel it moving, or at least you can't screw it up or screw it in even further with your hands, because you do want to make sure you keep that retention. So, what I just suggest doing this on all sides until they're about finger tight, or like that. That's it. And then going over them again with a screwdriver. This is the method I would actually suggest, is a crisscross pattern. Start off with the screw that you were already putting down. Then you go to that one, and then you go to the one opposite. And done. When it comes to RGB or ARGB, that is what is called an ARGB header. It's 3 prongs. Now what you want to do is take the ARGB connector that comes off the block itself, as well as the fans, and I want you to plug it into one of these slots, which is daisy chainable. All you do is take off that. So take this screw, the actual connector, and you place it here. Now you could actually daisy chain the fans, which would be fairly easy, and then that's pretty much it for ARGB. Okay, so we have 2 headers here. One is for the CPU, one is for the pump. So what I want you to do is take the actual 4-pin PWM that's connected with the fans and put that in this header here. Then the one that's coming off the actual block is another 4-pin. I want you to put here. Done. Now, this is where you're going to connect the actual screen, okay? That's a USB port, but that USB 2. This is a USB 2 connector, and what I want you to do is put the connector in one of these headers, like that, and it will connect up the screen. As for the installation, that is it. This is the fans at 100%. Are they loud? Yes. Are they the loudest I've ever heard? No. Okay then, so what did you think of that? Now, first of all, we're going to start off what I like. Now, I like the screen. The screen's really nice. I do like the 90-degree angle. It does look really nice when it comes to pictures. The ARGB fans, these are newer fans they brought out. I do like these fans. The RGB LEDs look very nice on this. They do look really, really nice. The RGB, very subtle. I like the RGB around the actual block here. It does illuminate the back of it, which is quite nice as well. Now, the screen, of course, it's got an odd resolution, something that I've never actually seen before, but because this is more of a wide screen, the resolution is a tad odd. It's actually 8540 by 480 pixels. You know, it is 30 and between 30 and 60 hertz when it comes to the actual, you know, refresh rate. That's not actually bad, and the class is an ultra wide IPS LCD, so which isn't bad. The swivel on the thing on the actual screen is quite nice as well. Very easy, and it seems sturdy enough. Now, like I did say, the fans as well, really nice. Now, when it comes to the actual performance, this is probably one of the best DeepCool AIOs I've ever actually reviewed. It's up there in the top of the charts when it comes to actual thermal performance, and also I really like the software. The actual software is better on this than it was on the Spartacus, but that is because it's a larger screen, and also you can do a lot more stuff, especially the decast. That is a fantastic feature. because you can use it as a secondary display. And if you go back and watch that part of the video, you will see one of my videos on that little screen, which is quite cool. Now, as for pricing, it's a little bit odd because it says for retail it's around $140 mark, but then I'm seeing £135 to £150 in the UK. Now, considering how the Antec, their latest AIO, the one with a big screen on it, that obviously has that decast feature as well, you can use it as a secondary display, that is like 215 quid. There's a massive price difference there, and I think DeepCool have actually hit it on the mark here with the pricing, because with the software as well as the overall RGB and the overall actual thermals, this beats majority of the Vision AIOs out there on the market. So, what did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with my opinion? If you don't, that is completely fine. If you do, that's also completely fine. Big thank you to DeepCool. As always, don't forget to subscribe. I've got absolute tons of stuff coming. I've got stuff here, stuff on the way from Lee & Lee. I'm working with some other brands as well to get stuff here. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic week and weekend ahead of you. This is Rich for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.